Hi everyone, Noah here. With the release of the Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition Digital, a lot of people, their moods on Zack Snyder have been in flux, I guess. While some people who have seen it are like, oh, this fixed all the problems, it made it 100% better, best, blah, blah, blah. Other people are going, it improved it, but so improved it, and they're like, either it's good or the tone of the whole movie's bad, and then others are still no. So as such, we're still split into two groups where one half is he should be helming the DCEU, he should be fully in charge of the Justice League, full creative control, having his full input into the other films, or at least another member of Team Nolan, while others are like, no, let's keep him fully out of everything, and a whole bunch of stuff like this. As such, I thought it was compromise that we have a second Justice League team going on at the same time. And no, this is not like it's a separate universe, it's not like a big reboot, it's a separate team in that there. Now, before you go away and say, no, this is stupid, just hear me out a little, because this Justice League is, from the lineup here, with Aquaman, Cyborg, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, is basing itself off the New 52 one. See there, as well as we have Green Lantern, who I assume we're going to see soon. And during the New 52's big early run, there were three big Justice League teams. This, Dark, which is being really looked into, and then there was the Justice League of America, a team that was brought together by the U.S. government for three main reasons. Number one, to serve as a counter for the Justice League. This counter were their abilities to neutralize or equal them. Number two, to act as a backup for the Justice League. A backup, a reserve, because they knew the Justice League was going to do good, but they needed help, or if they were worried someone was going to go on, they had to go into like another world or whatever. They knew there was a team standing by. And the third was to put faith into the American government again. And this team's members consisted of Martian Manhunter, Catwoman, Vibe, Green Lantern Simon Baz, Stargirl, Hawkman, and Green Arrow. It had also two unofficial members, SDE here, Steve Trevor, and then Amanda Waller, who were in charge of the government. And part there, Steve, he acted as their field commander, and Waller was the overall head of this. Now, there would be some changes, obviously, done. I guess the big one would be, it wouldn't just be America, it'd be most likely similar to the Civil War, it'd be a UN thing, but then I guess America will be the ones chosen to look into this here. So it'll still be called Justice League of America and stuff, but then it would be brought in as there. As you see here, like I said, the counter, Catwoman and Green Arrow are both the counter to Batman, but due to how the DCEU is going right now, it wouldn't make sense to have her right away, so Green Arrow would just be the only counter to Batman. And finally, instead of Steve Trevor, I would do King Faraday. I don't know if everyone remembers who that is. You saw him a lot in the Justice League cartoon, the second half during the Unlimited run. Anywho, yeah, so I believe that this could be a whole now other Justice League team going on that's in it there, and not a single member of Team Nolan would have influence on it. So you would still have a team fully under his image that people could, and then those who don't want it, this would be another good associate to go alongside it. As well, I think that's a pretty fair bet. Everyone would get something that they want from it. Now, the team. So I think beforehand, 3 movies are out before this comes out to establish pretty much most of these characters. We'll start off with Green Arrow. Now, when you go on here, apparently there's an escape from Supermaxing. This is what it says. David Esquire and Justice Mark penned a script film starring Green Arrow, originally called Supermax. There. Here, where he's put in prison, and he has to try to break himself out. Now, I wouldn't want this here. This doesn't seem like something Green Arrow would do. What would be better would be is he's put in prison, a prison break goes on, and he tries to stop the prison break. I feel like this would speak to the character more. It'd be make him a superhero, not Jason Bourne. These are two different things. There are some more changes. Added Black Canary would not be making an appearance here, but it would include cameos from Riddler, Lex Luthor, and the Joker. Yeah, no. Please. No. Stop making Green Arrow Batman. That's what the US government is trying to do. But yeah, so it would have not, well, Riddler, maybe Riddler. With Lex Luthor and Joker, no. Alright, somebody says, oh, just cameos. But still, I gotta go no with this. So, overall, yes, Supermax, Green Arrow, Supermax. That's what it can be called. He gets framed, thrown in, and now he's going to have to try to stop a prison escapee, while on the outside, Team Arrow tries to figure out what the hell happened. Okay. Now, if I was casting... Now, for this whole thing, if I do have somebody I had in mind to play, as in if I was controlled, I'd want Owen McGregor. Essentially, this is if I could cast anybody, and if I just call him up and ask, do you want this role? He's who I would put for Green Arrow. He's a very light-hearted guy, can adjust the facial hair to match Green Arrow, and I feel that this would match more since if Green Arrow is kind of supposed to be seen as this Justice League's Batman, you need to have... I wanted to go for a more older cast for this one here. Now for Black Canary, Charlize Theron, very big badass. Those is all pretty much anything she's in. You know, she can handle herself, and well, now Connor Hawke is the son of Green Arrow, and for casting, I don't know who would be good, but I don't think you will find anyone that will make everyone happy. Because there's some people like, stay true to the comics. Well, here's the thing, he's quarter black, quarter Asian, half white, with then the dark side coming out more. It's just a mess there. But I'd call him Red Arrow because of, even though he goes by Green Arrow really, mainly it's because of this. The New 52 reboot, Connor has yet to be introduced in the DC primary story, but an alternate version of Connor does, however, appear in the series Earth 2 as the World Army member named Red Arrow. So this would be a way there. Just go somebody, maybe an up-and-coming actor. Them. Now Speedy, Mia Durden, this is who essentially Thea is in the comics, although from the show Arrow, and what almost really Artemis is in the Young Justice. So if you combine these two characters, this is really this Speedy, and plays a bigger there as the second one, and really showed it as a side. John Diggle, he's appearing in the comics now. He is a very well-liked character, and people of the show, he's universally, okay, he wasn't in the comics originally, but I really do like him. Now, this is where people are going to get very, does this guy know what he's talking about? I want to put Felicity Smoke, but she'd be a combination of the original Felicity Smoke from the Firestorm, and then the new one here. Alright? As such, she's married to, I forget his name at the moment, sorry, but Firestorm's dad, you can almost say. something Raymond, as you would have that there, but you would also have her as like the CEO of Queen Consolidated, because this Oliver Queen would obviously already be mayor since he's already been Green Arrow for a bit, and it'd be hard to balance being mayor, the CEO, a family man, and Green Arrow, all of that there. So trusted, she'd be put in charge, and essentially there was a Felicity we did like. There are parts, and I know the person who can capture all that perfectly, Christine Vangus from Criminal Minds. That is really if you see our character there, this is essentially how we like to see a very fun Felicity. Now, Roy Harper Arsenal, because obviously there's Speedy and Connor Hart, Roy wouldn't be now a full Team Arrow member here. I would say story-wise, he was brought out. He left the team to become international, but he came back when Oliver was in jail to kind of fill his role on the team. Not as the leader, but as another archer. And to play him, just for very big fan dedication, I'd want to go with Stephen Amell. He is now trying to get himself out there in the more films. It'd be a nice little throwaway to the fans. Yeah. Now, the bad guy I want to go for this is Brick. Brick is... You saw him in Season 3 as one half the villain. He's... Wasn't shown a lot there, but he's a big, strong... You can almost make... And he would already be in the prison, I find. And he would be, like, the mastermind behind the bars to... Like, he was, going to be released soon, and he's the one who framed Oliver to, well, get all Green Arrow into the prison the very soon when he was coming out, just to make it a little salt on the wounds that this was happening, and also making it easier to go in and stop. Make it easier for when he goes out of the prison to continue his criminal activities, because he took out the Green Arrow. Green Team Arrow is going to become... You take a piece out of something, it becomes, like, structured, right? When you force the piece out. And that's what he did. Now, to play him, Terry Crews, loud, very fun, in charge. So there's really Green Arrow. Let's move on to the second movie, which would be Hawkman. Alright. And now, for this year, live action, in May 2011, it was reported Warner Brothers is in the process of hiring writers to pen a Hawkman film. The Thanagarians are mentioned in the comic book prequel Man of Steel by a member of the Kryptonian Council as a barbarian race. This confirms the Thanagarians' existence in the DC Extended Universe in which the Man of Steel takes place. By this here, we can, this works, I guess, the way to balance the CW TV universe, which has the more ancient Egyptian Carter Hall one, and this will be the Thanagarians, even though they're mentioned, but Kotor Hall. Now, there was no things mentioned of a story, but I'll say what I think that they can do after I reveal that. Tom Hardy should play this guy. Alright? Now, a lot of people are going, no, he should play Wolverine, and a lot of things like this here, but here's the thing, God, this is what he has to say: Warner Brothers is my home studio, and I love them, so I was really bummed out that he wasn't able to be in Suicide Squad because of the whole, Revenant? Yeah. And Hawkman isn't as well known as Hawkgirl, I find, because he really didn't appear in Justice League or anything outside of comics. So giving him a more medium known would be better by bringing... It would be really his well-knowing would help really intelligently bring the character more out there. Now, Chara Hall is Arthal whatever it is. You need a really. There was a lot of people here who could play her, but somebody we know who can play a tough female and have red hair, because the red hair is actually a thing about her. So that brings that there. Her now other characters to appear in this would be Kosarthal, who is her brother and king of Thanagar. Now in the New 52, he's a bad guy, but in this, I think it wouldn't make too much sense story-wise. What the story I had in mind. But he would be king, brother, and gets murdered. Next is Hero Talek, who we see in Justice League. He was originally supposed to be Hawkman, but they didn't want a villain. Now in this year, he wouldn't be he'd be like a pseudo villain. He's against Hawkman, but it's his duty. I'll go more when I'm talking about the story. But the true villain is Biff, who is a big-time Hawkman villain. He's a thief. He'd be the one who ends up killing him. The king in the end. So what is this? Well, this guy here, Myth, ends up killing the king. Steal something, obviously, to give him his changing powers, his morphing. He's a shapeshifter. Now, Hawkman, he gets framed, he escapes, and his only ally is his love, Shiara. While Hero Talk, even though Shiara is going to become the ruler, it's his duty as him and the rest of the soldiers must find the murderer, and the previous one can't excuse this there. I guess this was a way to prevent power structures, like having somebody murder and then I'll just excuse you from that there. There, that's even a story. A little bit of story and reason why they have that there. But that's the overall for that there. It's almost really the fugitive in space with bird people, lasers, and magical items. Well, very hearted enchanted items. Now for this one, I actually had a whole director in mind, James Cameron. He knows how to bring a world really to life. Very good spectacles, visuals, whatever. Now, Stargirl, Courtney Whitmer, or should be one of those more really youngest members of the team. There, and for her, Emily Kinney, who you really know from the Walking In as Beth Green, would be a very good choice from it. I could picture this Courtney bringing in kind of that Southern girl experience, even that she was able to bring as Beth to it. Now, characters to appear in this would be Pat Dugan Stride, who is her stepfather, and she originally doesn't really agree with him, doesn't get along, and that there she feels like her mother should have just stayed unmarried as a respect to her father, but no. John Goodman can bring a good father, so that's who I would have him there. Other characters, other JLA member Vibe would appear, as he'd be the other young member of it, and there wouldn't be a romance relationship between them, but a MCU Hawkeye and Black Widow, as they both understand each other, both are friends, they have the most back and they're trusting of each other. The other member would be John King Faraday, who we know, who I said would take the place of Steve Trevor in this. And to play him, Jim Cavell. Now for this story, Jack Ryder, who was the original Starman, I would say him and Stride and a whole bunch of others, they were all members of the Justice Society beforehand, and then they got shot. And Faraday was like their kind of first, he was like a young agent liaison with them, you could say, but he ended up shutting them down after something happens. But now with like the government trying to bring it up, he wants to find Jack, the original Starman. But from what they got this year is he's the Star Staff, which he uses, or no, sorry, the Cosmic Staff. It changes honestly depending on the universe. Is in the hands of Courtney after it was given Stride, and now they're trying to find Jack. Something like that there, I would say, for a story. Now, Simon Baz, I don't really know what a story we would do with him. He may appear in the Green Lantern, but I think it should maybe only be a cameo. You would hear this character, and then maybe an end credit scene of him getting the ring. There. Now, Katana, who's is going to appear in Suicide Squad, and she's being played by Karen Fukuhara. Here, they've said this about her husband. She serves as Rick Flag's bodyguard and wields the mystical Soul Taker blade, capable of trapping the souls of its victims. As she's a volunteer and not a criminal, she does not have a microbomb implant. Fukuhara says Katana has morals and codes. She can also slice through hundreds of people without taking a breath. There. So, really, I guess we're just going to see how she goes. Hopefully, she'll live through the Suicide Squad mission, and if it is, then they can bring this team more alive like that. There. I guess her movies would be, unless she can, if she can bring a really good performance for it, she might get her own movie. They might do like a Honorable Samurai thing. I didn't think about a time thing, but actually it probably would work. But let's wait till I see her performance. It's there. And then there's the Martian Manhunter, who now a lot of people wanted obviously him to be on the regular Justice League team, but this is basing his off the New 52, and he was on this one. Now some people might going, a movie, give him his own movie. Maybe in the future, but I would say for the time being, have him appear in each of them as kind of a connecting device as it grows more and more of who he is before fully appearing in Justice League. He would do that, and one other would do that. The White Martians, who would be the bad guy. They're preparing an invasion, kind of a miniature one there, and that's who the team would fight. Alright, so you know the members there. You have an idea of who I would want for the bad guy of this Justice League team. The only thing I guess I really can say now is, like, who did each one? Now, each one also is brought in for their own reasons. Hawkman and Katana, it's to help with their mission. Like, each of them have, a lot of them are making deals with the government, and then that's why they join. There. So they each have their own reasons. So they won't have like a loyalty to the government, but bringing a loyalty amongst themselves is what's important. And I'm going to show again who each member counters. Just put Green Arrow in her place. So Martian Manhunter countered Superman. Green Arrow to Batman. Katana to Wonder Woman. The Green Arrows, obviously. Vibe to Flash, as he can disrupt the Speed Force. Stargirl and Cyborg was really I guess the tech power that they have, and then Aquaman to Hawkman. Alright then, this has been my idea. So, a JLA movie. What does everyone think? I'm sorry the parts where I rambled on. I... If you do like this idea, share this video out. It'll get word out more, and this makes it easier to get made. If some of you didn't like, please comment below what you didn't like, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Alright everyone, till next time.